we have two mic engagements. So when someone asks a question in the back of the room, everyone can hear it. Woohoo! Round of applause for Deseret First for sponsoring the second mic. All right, so we're going to go and get started. We're going to start with who wants to go first? Okay. Knostiq. We're going to invite you up and get ready to present. So we'll let Knostiq take the mic.
Thanks for having us. We're Knostiq, and we help employers make better decisions for better risk management. Injuries have on the employer and the workforce. One incident that I always remember is that of Jeff Shields, a field worker who was crushed and killed by a 10,000-pound concrete sewer pipe. Jeff is just one of 5,000 fatalities that we see each year in the United States. In addition, there's 3 million workplace-related injuries across employers, and that amounts to $104 billion in both direct and indirect costs to employers. In the case of, there was little information available to alert them ahead of time of at the job site. Traditional risk management. Many employers still use paper-based systems or spreadsheets to manage their safety and risk activities. And it produces very little information to them about their risk performance. And this is where Knostiq wants to play. We want to provide employers with a platform that'll allow them to better see their risk performance so that they can protect their workforce and reduce their workers' comp premiums.
All right, so how it works is a quick overview. We essentially collect a bunch of our clients' data, from claims data to their safety, also their risk assessments, aggregate back to them so that they can get more insights into how they can better manage their risk.
So data analytics is an explosive industry. In the risk analytics segment, last year, there was about $14 billion in revenue made, and that's expected to grow upwards to $26 billion by 2020. So there's a lot of opportunity here. Insurance technology is a very underserved market, and we see great opportunity for innovation. And as we look at the competitive landscape, one thing that was very obvious to us was that a lot of the tech solutions that are available are catered towards large-scale enterprise companies and making it out of reach for the middle market. We see the provide risk management technology solutions for the middle market that currently can't afford an enterprise risk management solution.
All right, so for the business model, we have a 3-tiered pricing model that we've come up with. We have managing and tracking, analytics, and then an employee engagement tool. We estimate that this will give us roughly an annual recurring revenue of $30,000. However, this is not the only source of revenue that we see as a potential option. There is data brokering, so we could sell information to data brokers, insurance carriers. We could also help our clients better price their workers' comp to ensure that they're not paying too much, so save them money that way, and also with more money in their own.
We want to build a strong web and social presence to get our product out to the market. We want to get involved in trade shows, conferences, and build out a sales team. So as we look at our market that we're targeting, we're looking at high risk, high hazard industries. Staffing and PEOs are exposed. They're unique because of the co-employment relationship that they have. We're also looking at transportation, construction, and manufacturing. In addition, we want to build strategic partnerships in the insurance ecospace. So this would be folks such as brokers, carriers, self-insured groups, and state-run programs. And we feel that we would be very complementary to their portfolio of service.
All right, so here we can see our revenue projections. However, the part that I want to focus on the most is actually 2018. We feel that by 2018, we'll be able to scale the business and have a solid enough product out that we can hit 70 clients with roughly $2.2 million in revenue. So for the team, it's Mike Cadena, who's the CEO. He has experience in corporate risk management. There's myself, I'm the CTO. Have experience as a technical consultant. Our advisors are Hans Hendershot, who is the former CEO of Chiasma Business Solutions, which was recently acquired by I. Bailey. He has a lot of experience in helping companies grow. And Fred Pichon, who is the CEO of Risk Minds. He has over 20 years experience in risk consulting and risk management. Here's a list of a few of the acquisitions and things that are happening currently in our industry. We can see that there are some pretty sizable numbers up there. So we're extremely excited about the possibilities of where we can take this and what we can accomplish in this industry and helping people better manage their risk and ultimately save the money.
First question, why is now the right time to be doing this?
So when we were looking at this problem, at this point in time, there's a lot of data that employers are collecting, but they're not using, that can give them the insights that they need to manage. So we're talking things such as claims data, HR data, these types. Right now, this data resides in silos, but they're not being utilized to give them the insights as to where the risks are coming from in the organization.
What's the biggest risk over the next 12 to 18 months?
Our risk?
To your business.
Okay,
Yeah.
To our business? I guess that's an interesting question. I haven't thought about that, but the biggest risk to us is not acquiring customers quick enough, not getting the traction that we want.
You mentioned a few channels up there, a few different methods of acquiring customers. What do you think the first one should be?
The first one is what we're doing right now is we're talking to the industry. So we're talking to industry leaders, we're talking to risk managers, CFOs that are impacted by the cost of workers' comp in the organization. We're talking to brokers, folks of that nature.
So tell me about this kind of the ecosystem of decision making. Who at these companies is the decision maker? Choose your software as their platform.
Typically, depending on the size, so we're focusing on middle market companies. So this ranges anywhere, companies greater than 100 employees, upwards to 1,000. Typically, the decision maker would probably be a CFO in conjunction with a VP of risk management or director of risk management.
Okay, and so what are those CFOs doing in regards to your solution or your service to substitute for it right now? Are they not getting anything, or what's the competitive? And that leads to the competitive landscape. So I'd like to know, what are they doing right now to get some kind of semblance of what you're trying to provide them, and then who are the competitors that they're using, your competitors that they would be using?
Right. So right now, the way risk management is handled is traditionally an internal process. It's It's human-based, so they usually will assign risk managers, field safety reps, and things of that nature. The process typically would be record incidents on a spreadsheet, and that's how it's handled. And either monthly or quarterly meetings are done and looked at what are our costs, where are the problems coming from. Sometimes HR training, but that's as far as they go right now.
So this is a huge paper and pencil spreadsheet, paper, pencil, whatever, and you're trying to put into a SaaS platform that'll make it much superior for them. And there's nobody doing this at all?
There's solutions out there right now, but they're geared toward enterprise companies. So these are a couple $100,000 implementation that require intensive amount of resources to set up. And so it's out of reach, out of scope for the middle market companies.
Okay, and you're trying to get only like $30,000 ARR out of each customer with a setup fee and recurring monthly SaaS subscription.
Right, and additional upscale services that Brett mentioned about as well.
Okay, my last question, then we'll go to the crowd, I guess, is about validation. Can you tell me what you've done to validate these middle market CFOs and whether they want to be a customer of something like this, and your pricing and all that? What have you done? How many interviews with that target customer?
Sure, we've talked to about 50 different companies in various industries, primarily the staffing industry. And we've narrowed down to about 7 interested companies that we presented to that had strong interest in our product. And right now we have 2 that we've moved forward in conversations, and we're trying to get them to pilot. Our MVP projection date is in July, and we're looking to acquire some beta testers at that point.
One more question. Where's the product at? I may have missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in MVP mode right now, trying to get everything built out. Well, I shouldn't even say MVP. We're trying to hit our version 1. Allows us to get some beta customers on board. Our goal is to hit by July 8th, have that done where we can actually start getting people on.
I just want to say that you did a good job and you really handled the questions well.
All right, Jason, here we go.
Hey guys, looking good. Just a question about the competitive landscape. What barriers are there to these established companies from providing a scaled down solution and addressing the same market that you're trying to hit? Is there something proprietary? Is it just cost? What's going to stop them from coming in and just squashing you like a cockroach, as Mr. Wonderful says?
Sure. Let's see. So you're asking about differentiation, or how do we protect ourselves from other people duplicating our business? Is that?
Mostly those that are already in the field that you said are charging hundreds of thousands of dollars. What's providing a smaller solution and taking over your market?
Right, okay. I would say to that is their core strength is just enterprise, that they product, what they have to their growth.
What was the reception level?
Just had a recent with Salt Lake, and this, from their standpoint, it's a big problem for them trying to provide innovative solutions for their customers as a means to differentiate themselves. And there are ongoing conversations as to how do we handle this? Do we do it internally? Do we outsource it? Do we use someone? So there is a strong need from the insurance side to provide better technology solutions to service their client base.
Do they see you as the solution to how big's the pain?
Yeah, so they've been shopping around, but they don't see anything that is solving their problem completely. And when we talked to them, they really liked our approach of what we're trying to do. And so one of the things that we're looking to do with them is to actually partner with them and look at their processes as to what are the analytics needs from their perspective and see how we can fit with them. And that's where we're at with them at this point.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the presentation. That was great. Just wondering, if I remember correctly, you mentioned data being brought in from those you serve and you help them digest or sort out and provide analytics to them. I guess I'm just wondering, because from the sounds of it, the current market sounds like paper and pencil, but do they have data as well? Or could you share a little bit more about like what that revenue stream is in comparison to what you've already discussed?
Yeah, so some of these companies are using things like claims management systems in order to manage those claims. These are going to be higher risk companies that have quite a few claims every year. And so we try and find, so there's tons of claims management systems. So our goal is to actually integrate with as many of these as we can and standardize the data so that we can spit it back out to these CEOs in a format that they can actually understand. Because right now there's a bunch of codes and everything else that people get it. You look at it and you're like, I don't understand what, so we can spit that out. So that will be one of our competitive advantages as well that we foresee, which allows us to hit our target dollar value or ARR.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. If you had 10 different clients, you could bring together their data and help kind of sort that cross client for them, provide more valuable insight for individual CFOs. Thanks.
Hi, thank you. Great presentation, and I think it's needed. Most big companies have a highly trained OSHA safety manager associated with the company. The data for accidents and risk is out there on the internet already. I guess I'm exactly what you're selling them. Other than, I understand you're providing a computer-based system to do that, but it seems to me a lot of these trained folks, managers, have a lot of that already. I'm talking for the bigger companies, of course, but maybe if your market's really in the lower level companies, the smaller ones, then you know, usually that general contractor or whoever it may be, they're going to be very much into that, you know, because they don't want to be impacted by an accident for a lot of reasons. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for the question. Yeah, so it is true that there's data available. However, and you're referencing specifically to safety information. What happens a lot of times, a company that may use an environmental health and safety software, all it does, it's just managing and tracking. It's just providing part of the solution. It's just it just tracks and records stats. So number of injuries, number of accidents, types of accidents. What we're doing is we're integrating other data sources such as the HR data, how the employee was hired, the hiring practices, the skill matching to the job that they're doing, to the skills that they actually have. Is there a risk there? Are they qualified for that? So we're providing key performance indicators and cost drivers that are what the causes behind why these injuries are happening. So the only way that can happen is by integrating the data and also looking at the claims data on the site to show the employer what is the history behind and why are we incurring this type of injury in our workplace.
So that's including in-service training and things for
Yeah, whether
employees.
it's a training issue, it's a hiring issue, those types of things. Are we overpaying for claims, those types of things?
All right, last question. What can we do as a 1 Million Cups community for you?
Okay, great.
Yeah, so we'd love introductions into some more data brokers in order to start building out those relationships so that we can, or insurance brokers, sorry, not data brokers, insurance brokers, so that we can start building out more relationships with them and get them on board. And also if you have any contacts in high risk environments like construction, manufacturing, we'd love to talk to those people as we're looking for some more developers in order to help build this product out and scale it faster.
Excellent, thank you. And we'll give you a 1 Million Cups cup. All right. Sweet. We'd like to thank John Richards from Startup Ignition for putting together the panel for these next few weeks. We've also got John Mayfield from Peak here. So Peak is a local group that's put together a tech fund and has done a lot of investment in local startups here. It's pretty awesome. It's a cool group. All right, we're going to go ahead and get ready for our next presentation. I'll have them present Morph Pillow, is that right? Yes. Awesome. One more announcement real quick, #1MC, it's a hashtag. We don't have our projector up with like the video, but there's a hashtag called 1MC and all the cities who are presenting have that. And so you can see a lot of what's happening in other cities as well as shout out the companies that are presenting here. So when you do an Instagram photo or a tweet it with a #1MC.
All right. What up, 1 Million Cups people? It's good to be here today. My name is Brian Parker, and I'm the founder, CEO, and inventor of Morph Pillow of the Gods. Now, I'll start with the name Morph. It's a double entendre, really. As you'll see, this pillow can morph to whatever circumstances in which you may need it. And I'll expound on that in a little bit. But also, Morpheus is the Greek god of dreams. Hence, it is the pillow of the gods. I thought about renting a toga costume today, having a little laurel wreath and everything, but costume shop wasn't open this morning, which is probably best to spare all of you from that. Okay, so we got a little quote from Morpheus there. Let me talk a little bit about the idea, how it came about. It was finals week. I'm a student at BYU, and as any student can really test, I was very sleep deprived. You know, I was living in the library. I'm a BYU student, so you can probably assume that I don't drink coffee. You know, so I was very, very tired. And so, like a good student, I decided to put my head down on my books, and it hit me. I was like, I just wish I had just a nice pillow right here, because this textbook is not very comfortable for me. And then it hit me. The travel pillow really had not yet been perfected, right? The most common being the neck pillow. A lot of people don't like those. In fact, the neck pillow, it's counterintuitive. The last thing you want when you're trying to sleep upright is something behind your neck, pushing your neck forward. And they're bulky, you know, you see people hanging them on their arm or their luggage or whatever. And then I got brainstorming a little further. There's nothing for students. I'm not going to whip out a neck pillow, you know, there on campus or anything like that. So with Morph. Now, what this is, the Morph pillow, can you hold this one? It's not a Frisbee, though it may look like that. This is simply the case. And so you can whip this little guy, it's about 1.5 inches thick, out of your backpack. Every foam, super soft down, it just expands. And you have a pillow that you can use, you know, on the plane, right with the seat right there, and it'll just kind of expand and support your head. It's got a flat top and bottom. You can put it on a desk, put your head down, you know, really wherever you need, camping, the beach, whatever. I'll pass this around. You guys give it a little squeeze now. Don't be shy. It's very soft, very comfortable. So that's kind of the start there. So
I had, turn this on. I had $2,000 of my own money and an idea. I'll spare you. I went through some preliminary validation before I spent my own money and things like that. Found that it seemed like a pretty good idea. Decided to do a Kickstarter. Raised $22,000 in about 30 days. So very excited about that. That added to kind of the validation aspect a little bit for me. And right now we're in the production process. One of my ships from overseas left the port yesterday. It's on its way here. So those Kickstarter orders are in the process of being fulfilled. I've got some inventory coming as well. So the market, kind of my focus now, post Kickstarter, obviously fulfilling those orders, making sure I have happy customers, things like that. But what I'm doing right now, I like to refer to kind of where I'm at in the business as a chess game. I enjoy chess. I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy it. Right now, I'm kind of positioning my pieces a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't have the inventory right now, so I'm a little limited, right? But I can see the attack strategy and what I want to do, and I'm organizing everything. So the first, actually, I'm going to get back to the airplane part. There are more than 21 million on-campus university students in the U.S. There have been studies out there about the power of a power nap, how it can increase memory retention by 5-fold. NASA did a test on NASA pilots and determined that a power nap of 40 minutes can increase your alertness by 100% and your capability or capacity to do whatever task you're doing by about 34%. And students I've found really love it. I've taken a number of naps myself. I've had friends test out the pillow. It's been great. But what I've been focusing on lately has actually been kind of the promotional aspect with the universities. I've spoken to the U, UVU, and BYU, because what you see there, what you have in your hands, as well as this case, it's all customizable, right? This could be any color. I could pad print a logo on here. I can change the color of the pillow itself as well. Put a little logo on there that is pretty flush to the pillow, so you won't feel it too much. And I've had an amazing response. Of the big three, the U said, well, we'll be interested in about 2,000 of them. UVU said we'd be interested in about 1,000 of them. BYU, they're still humming a little bit, but they haven't said no just yet. They just want some samples, talk with the committee, do the BYU thing that we do. Very exciting that I'm 2 for 3 with the big 3 universities around here. As well, I just met with another company the other day that wants to. I'm about 4 for 5 with companies that I've sit down with that want to make a bulk order for a kind of a promotional aspect. My margins there are going to be right around kind of the wholesale margins for that. So that's very exciting. And then the dream, of course, would be to get into the airport shops. Now, in talking about this, I'm going to talk a little bit about my costs, my numbers, some obstacles I'm overcoming right now and things like that. So in order to get into the airport shops, you look around, I need to be able to put this on the shelves for $10. That's what the standard neck pillow is in the shops there. Well, landed to me with my current factory, it was about $10. And so I sell it for $19.99 online and on the Kickstarter. But obviously, in order to go retail, I need to get those margins down. I'm really grateful to things like that. Reed Quinn is my mentor, and he's actually in the process of helping me work with a factory that can get that cost down. Landed to me we're going for about sub $3 right now. So then if I can, and so that's what I'm doing right now. That's one of those chess pieces that I'm positioning right now, is making that factory switch, because then if I can get it sub 3 to me, I can go to those airport shops, maybe sell for 5 1/4 to them or so. They mark it up to 10. We've got the good margins that we need. Same with the promotional aspect for the companies, the universities and things like that. They love the idea of having something other than like a free white t-shirt, which we all have like a million of, to give out. And as well, I've received positive response and actually landed some deals with security companies, the summer sales companies, want to give it out to their people. So my big step right now is making that change. And unfortunately, that's just going to take some time, and I'm working on that. But I'm very optimistic about being able to do that and be able to get it on the shelves for $10 there. Let's see here. All right, yeah, I know there are going to be a lot of questions, so I just will finish with this, and then I'll let you just throw them at me here. Giving back, it's really important for me to give back. I'm actually very tied to the medical community. I'm actually a pre-med student at BYU. You can ask me about that afterwards if you want, but med school is the dream. That's a couple years off still, however. But in being and things like that, I wanted to give back. So based on an annual distribution, 5% of my profit will be donated to Limitless, which is it's a nonprofit organization, local nonprofit organization for diabetes. They donate 100% of everything they do to the cause that they're associated with. They don't have, well, I know that for a fact because I started Limitless about 3.5 years ago. So it's kind of cool that I can do good with the nonprofit that I started, as well as and the for-profit as well. I can go into diabetes statistics all day. I won't bore you with those. But basically, there are a lot of type 1 diabetic families who can't afford their medical costs. And if you know anything about type 1 diabetes, which is different than type 2, you have to have medication or you'll die. So it's a very real threat. Anyways, that's a little bit about the Give Back program. I won't expand too much more on that, but that's just a little bit about that. So that is the Morph Pillow. I hope everyone got to give it a little squeeze here. And I'd love to hear your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them.
Okay, you're making a lot of great moves. I mean, Reed Quinn's a great mentor, and
yeah,
going from 10 down to $3 is essential. So you're working on that. So tell me about how you defend this from knockoffs, and I mean, and what your overall strategy would be for the future. I mean, let's say this is kind of a hit or a semi-hit or something. I mean, I'm assuming there's nothing that you can't defend this product. That if you start selling a lot of these, there's going to be 10 other people making them.
Sure. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I've thought a lot about this. In fact, I've talked with Reed, I've talked with other people about the proprietary aspect of this, and you're right. A design patent, they add one scene to it, they've gotten around my patent already. Utility, this is not going to happen for something like this. So how I've come to peace with, I guess, that question is kind of the first to market response, if you will. For example, want to knock this off, I'd have to make a decent splash, I feel like, right, in order for someone to start doing that. Well, hopefully, when I made that splash, I've already established those relationships. So if I've already taken some shelf space, like at an airport shop, right, with, this company's got 100 airport shops around the country. If I've got that space and my margins are low enough, and they have that relationship, the idea would essentially, the hope would essentially be that, oh, well, Joe Schmo is offering a knockoff for, 5 cents less or the same price or whatever than what we already have. Why would we bother kind of switching? So kind of the first to market.
So you want to create a brand and maybe a second product even? Is that what you're thinking? Have you been thinking about?
Well, actually, I appreciate you asking that question about a kind of second product and how this will be on the shelves. A lot of people love the hard plastic case, but a lot of people actually have expressed interest in a compression bag. So as far as at least a little bit of a product expansion and how I see it on the shelves, I don't actually see the plastic case on the shelf with the pillow. I imagine it'll be hanging there, right, suspended, so you can squeeze it. But then, those travel compression bags for your clothes that you put it in, you zip it shut, and then you can roll it, and they got one-way valves that the air shoots out. We'll have something like that,
So I think you're making a lot of good moves, and energy. Are you having fun doing this? So let's focus on you for a second.
Absolutely.
So I want to know why you want to go to medical school.
Yeah.
You seem like you really enjoy this.
I do.
Why would you not become an entrepreneur and have a great entrepreneurial career instead of going to medical school?
It's a fantastic question. I'll say it simply like this. Medicine's my first love. Business has creeped into the second place position. And doing business related things is an itch I've got to scratch. It started with Limitless, the nonprofit. It's a 501c3, started 3.5 years ago. I got off my mission, LDS mission, and I didn't want to wait till I finished med school to make a difference. And so I started the organization. That's been a huge success, a lot of fun. And it kind of dawned on me. I was like, let's do something now I can make some money with. I do love it. I love business. As far as, it's a deep question that I could expound on for way more time than what we have, why I want to go to med school. I have a long list of reasons why. But I guess to just reconcile why I'm still doing this and wanting to go to med school and things like that, medicine is a business. And the things that I'm learning here in doing this and having fun are going to bless me for the rest of my life, no matter what medicine I practice. And who knows, there could be a time where I realize there's some instrument in the medical community that I want to have created, but that just doesn't exist maybe. And I'll have connections, I'll be able to do that. But to further answer your question, I will pursue an MD, MBA dual degree. A lot of universities, even the U and those, offer the MD, MBA programs to 5 years instead of just 4 years for med school. And that is the plan. Anyways, I won't bore you with why I want to be a doctor.
How long do you plan on being in this business?
Yeah, well, so I've got 2 years before I enter med school, assuming I get in. It's a year-long application process. I apply not this June, but next, and I'll have another year. And so for sure for the next 2 years. Now, what happens then if I sell it or just have someone managing or whatever?
Right. Yeah.
We'll see.
Sounds like you have some great mentors. Who else on the team, or is it? It's you.
They're looking at the team.
All right. Have you raised any money at this point?
Other than the Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, you put in a couple grand.
I have a couple grand myself. I haven't sought fundraising just yet. The Kickstarter's covered a decent, it's covered the bulk of it. So no, I just haven't sought it yet.
And just run through the economics one more time.
Yeah.
You're going to get it down to $3.
Yeah.
Wholesale is going to be,
$5.
$5.
$5. Maybe five.
And then the retail ceiling is about, you want to hit $10.
$10.
You're going to build it around this brand here more. I mean, I looked at your pillow, it didn't have like a little tag, but I see the production version will.
Well, yeah, so the case does, that, everyone's going to be receiving will. When it's on the shelves, the compression bag will definitely have the brand on it. I wanted to avoid, unless it's for promotional purposes, I want to avoid putting anything on the pillow itself, because you don't want to be sleeping on words, maybe have more like when you wake up, imprinted there. So that's why there's nothing on the pillow itself.
Cool. You think you have enough energy for this?
I'll tell you what, I struggle sometimes, I struggle.
No coffee, huh?
No, I know, it's surprising, right? Yeah, very little sleep last night. I'm probably just a little loopy right now, quite frankly.
Any other questions here? All right, on the other side, I'll come to you. Yeah, one back here. I'll start over here.
How you doing, sir?
So you were indicating that your product is made overseas, or have you thought about having it made domestic so you don't have shipping issues and foreign country issues?
Yeah, I really have. In the preliminary prototype stages, I just couldn't find, even with the $10 landed to me, it was very difficult to find competitive costs with the customization and things I was looking for. So I feel like, especially if I do get it down to $3, that'll be, as far as I know and what I've researched, unbeatable price comparison there. Great question. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
How long will it last? Will you have to replace it, or will it wear out?
Yeah, so obviously we're new enough that I don't have personal statistical data on that. However, I've done research on memory foam. Standard memory foam is they compress it more than 75% it was a year-long test of just leaving it at that compressed state, and when they released it on like a 5-inch mattress, it was like an inch or so. So that's if it's staying compressed for a long period of time. My compression is less than 75%. And so my anticipation is a number of years. Yeah, great question though.
Great presentation.
Thank
A lot
you,
of fun.
Thank you.
Couple of ideas. Does that cover come off?
Oh yeah, in fact, that's a great question. I'm glad you didn't notice it. That actually brings my soul joy, because there's a flap that covers the zipper, and there's a zipper so you can take the cover off and it's machine washable.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And also, I see why you could do this with a shape like a rugby ball or a soccer ball or anything that promoted a different way. But great product. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, the sky's the limit in the promotional aspect, I feel. So it's exciting.
and actually tailing off his question, it seems like the circle is causing probably a lot more of your manufacturing costs. Have you tried to do other shapes that would more, optimize manufacturing, which could even decrease your cost even further, because then you can keep charging the same wholesale price?
Yeah, great question for sure. I've thought a lot about the shape. Specifically, seeing the airplane being one of the lead usage locations for this pillow. The last thing you want when you're trying to have something on your shoulder are edges. So if you look into other shapes, like a square that or a triangle or some other shapes like that would make it more difficult to use than the smoothness or whatever, because of the way it can compress and mold to how you might need it.
Market that.
Sure, yeah.
Because that's the expense that you're going through. So make sure you market that and enhance that in your marketing so that, or feature that in your marketing so people know what to do.
It's a great point. I appreciate that feedback. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, quick question. Maybe you don't have to go into all the details, but $10 to $3 seems like a sharp drop.
Yeah.
How is that happening? Like, is it in the cost of production or the labor behind creating it? Or I'd be curious if competitors can get to China, or has no one else had this idea? It's a completely new market.
Yeah, so as far as the sharp drop is concerned, when I was doing my initial research, I don't speak Mandarin, nothing like that. So it was, some Google searches, some Alibaba, things like that. So I'm already working with the markup of a company that's working with the manufacturer. Fortunately, with Reed as my mentor, I think he's actually living overseas right now. He comes back and forth a lot and has the relationships established. So it's kind of more, he just knows kind of where to go and where to direct me. So I'm already dropping that mark down. Of that company, and then as well, he knows factories with more competitive rates and things like that, for sure.
Two things. One is for your competitive advantage. I think your name and your branding is your competitive advantage. If you can get out there with that, and make a big deal of it like you did here, and be cute and clever, I think that's part of your competitive. I didn't say you were cute.
Oh, okay.
I said your
business.
Yeah,
that'll work. Thank you.
The second thing is the natural thing with the sphere is go after basketball teams. I mean, if you can do NBA brand or something like that, you can get into that realm if you have some partnerships that you can do there.
Yeah.
I do have a friend for the football shape who just is one of the guys that purchased the Rams. And so, that would, I'd be happy to make an introduction for that. Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. Let's talk afterwards. What's your name, sir? Mike. I'm going to come search for Mike afterwards. I appreciate that. That'd be great. Yeah, right. What's up?
Yes, I think you've done fantastic, especially since I started off whatever. But then as you went through and showed the success that you've had with it, I was like, okay, this guy's got something's going here. So I wanted to provide just a little feedback on your branding, and kind of connection with John's question earlier about where the branding appears on your packaging. These pillows will be left behind. Hotel rooms, libraries, airlines, wherever, they will be left behind. People will come across them and pick them up, and the packaging, the case, whatever, is not going to be with it. And they're going to look at that and say, this is really cool. How do I get one? And you're going to be missing out on a big marketing opportunity with that. So I would suggest finding some way to either a soft embroidery or a tag or some way to get your website on the actual pillows.
That's a great point. In fact, as you were saying, I was thinking maybe on that flap, and just a nice little small, morphpillow.com. That's great. That's a great point. Thank you. Great feedback.
Sometimes a little silence lets questions simmer to the mind, so I don't pressure it.
Oh, you worked.
Yeah. Coming your way.
I'm kind of simmering up here. We got a lot of smart people out here,
Awesome job. You're a good example of execution. Like, you really made this happen, and it's awesome to see that. I'm wondering, what are you thinking long term? I know some companies, some innovation companies like Nike, for example, they started with running, but they went back and experience and now just make products. What's your long term goal with that regard?
Sure, yeah, that's a great question. And I wish I could provide a better answer than what I'm about to give you. Because I see med school a couple years off, the dream, med school debt is about $450K for like a med school student. So the dream for me would be to have this pay for med school. Would be great, if I, and then so I guess my long term for this might not be I'm going to go and make 50 million in the travel pillow industry or something. Right now I'm just kind of seeing where things go though, right? Because maybe I just decide, hey, if things are really going well, I can hire a kid fresh out of college, on a salary base or to handle everything. And then I'm just getting a residual commission as he's just kind of doing it all. Or maybe I sell it to a company or whatever. I wish the long term was more clear for me, but it's a fair question. Absolutely. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
So opportunity in like the promotional world. Sure. You've had a lot of success with getting universities to get on board with that. Have you thought about talking to some of these companies that just focus on doing promotional products for larger corporations and kind of getting your product in with them?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. In fact, yes. And as a result, I talked to Proforma, which is a huge promotional company, and they said, well, we're really busy right now because we're prepping for the ASD Expo. I said, well, what is that? And it's the huge consumer goods expo in Las Vegas. So as a result, I have a booth now. I signed up, got a booth, and I have a list now of companies according to my business profile. I've got their contact information, everything like that. So until July 31st, is when it starts. My two focuses are getting that manufacturer switched over, and then establishments with promotional companies, if they're airport shop kind of companies, any sort of travel companies that'll be at this ASD Expo, and getting ready for that. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Last question. What can we do as a 1 Million Cups community for you?
Yeah, love the question. I've thought a great deal about it. I've got a short term and a long term for you guys. Short term, if you have a smartphone, just go on to Facebook and like our Facebook page, Morph Pillow of the Gods. I actually have a fun little Father's Day video. Oh, thank you so much, sweetie. That's so kind of you. I have a fun Father's Day video, right? I went around and asked dads, what causes you to lose sleep at night? Real, heartwarming. Dads talking about concerns for their family, work, whatever. And then I introduced the Morph Pillow in there, and they said, oh, I love this. Anyways, go ahead and share that video. Morph Pillow of the Gods is the Facebook. So that's short term. So you could do that right now if you felt so inclined. Long term would be introduction, belt teams or something. But even if it's smaller scale, it doesn't need to be that big. Don't be intimidated. I actually at 1 Million Cups, it's a plug for 1 Million Cups. I met with a guy, Chad Holmes. We were talking. He's just another entrepreneur here, and he's like, "Well, I've got connections that did in solar, so let me get you hooked up." And just 2 days ago on Monday, I met with them, and they said we want 1,000 of them. So huge plug for 1 Million Cups, and thank you to you guys for putting it on. Introductions is kind of the long term.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys. Awesome presentation today. Round of applause again. Great. We have one quick announcement. There's a benefit concert happening on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. It's the launch of a new album for our good friend over here, Ms. Sheehan. She'll be launching her new album. I don't know, I forgot the name of it. Chapters of My Heart. It's gonna be exciting. At the Mighty Baker Bake Shop at 7:30. The proceeds will benefit the Operation Underground Railroad. So if you get a chance, see if something, don't have anything planned Saturday evening, go check it out. Thanks for coming. We've got 2 awesome groups planned for next week and a cool panel, more of the same. So we'll hope to see you next week. Thanks, guys.
That's the real promotional class industry. So, we'll need to get on that one.
Test.
Test.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about who I talked
Yeah, we get it together. We did, you don't have case. Oh, how about that? Yeah, so check actually. Because I was emailed about it.